I'm here with the king of Lithway himself, Dave Leduc. Dave's so kind enough to join us today. Dave, how are you doing, man?
I'm very good. Thanks for having me, guys.
So you're finally getting your wish and fighting in the United States for Lithway. It's finally legalized. You are fighting upcoming. Tell us about the process of getting this fight put together.
Oh man, it's just a bunch of coincidence happening. So basically, I'm signed with the WLC in Myanmar and the World Lithway Championship, and I was supposed to defend the belt earlier than that. It's already been a year now, last August 2019, and then this whole pandemic happened, and because they're not able to fly me to Myanmar, I'm stuck in Canada right now, and they're not able to fly my opponents as well. So as per contract, I'm legally allowed to fight anywhere that I want because of travel restrictions and everything. But now, where do you fight Lithway? It's not illegal everywhere. So my team got in touch with Wyoming because they legalized vertical boxing, a couple of years ago. So I'm like, they might be able to play it out. And in fact, they fucking did it. They allowed Lithway rules, headbutts allowed, KO to win, traditional Lithway rules. So they made it happen.
Man, that's awesome. So how did you guys foresee a global pandemic in your contract to put in the fight clause?
Actually, it was, it says force majeure, like God stuff or force of nature. It basically says if both parties are not able to, for example, to present me a fight, they're not able to present me a fight right now. Technically, we're able to legally be excused of the contract for the time being. So I'm still with them. It's not like cancellation. I'm still fighting for the WLC. It's just right now they're not able to propose to me my minimum, one fight a year.
So this is traditional Lithway. It's no rounds. It's open weight, open rounds, correct?
Yeah, exactly. Maybe some people don't know the difference. Traditional Lithway rules, until a couple, 100 years ago, it was fought in sandpits. It was grudge matches, KO to win. So if the two guys are standing up at the end of the fight, at the end of 5 rounds, they just raise both arms. It's a draw, and the fans, they don't care. They just want to see like a bloodbath. They want to see action. But for me as a fighter, I fought Cyrus in 2017, and if you look at the fight, I think it's everywhere on YouTube. I dominated the rounds. I lacerated his forehead early in the first round, and after this first round, he was avoiding engagement too much, I think, because to not receive too much damage to make it worse. And I was still a new champion at the time, Blaine. Like I had only 22 fights. He had over 100, and I was still able to dominate. I take a lot of pride in being able to adapt, in a shorter amount of time. But I'm very critical of myself, and I was not cutting the ring. I was not cutting. As he was moving away, I was not able to control him and finish the fight. So even though I dominated, I've been extremely pissed at myself ever since that fight. I'm like, fuck, man. Like, because if you look, I looked the other day on Wikipedia, it says a draw, but you look at the fight. I mean, in any some guys have 300 fights in Muay Thai, and a lot of them are decision wins. Me. That would have been easy, a clear, 10-8 domination fight. But because it's traditional rules, which I love and I respect, it says in a draw. So now I'm telling you, mark my fucking words, it's going to be a clear and decisive win. I don't know how it's going to happen. I just want to let my body freely move with either headbutts, elbows. I don't care. I just want to finish the guy. He's been campaigning. I'm on a rant right now, but he's been campaigning. He's been campaigning since the fight. He wanted a rematch. He said that he wasn't at his best, and I cut him early. But he said he studied me and he wants to rematch. And I'm like, fuck, you campaign. I've been pissed at my fight since the time. I've grown up like massively since that fight. I fought Tung Min again, and I wanna make sure that this Blaine is like a history fight. It's for my legacy because. As for like the only foreigner that knocked out Tung Min was Cyrus Washington, and we're the only 2 guys that have stopped him. And he's a legend. Tung Min, a fucking tough guy. So for me, I'm battling to solidify this as like who's the best non-Burmese Lithway fighter.
That's so Cyrus was always the opponent though.
Yeah.
Awesome. So Sparta, have you paid attention much to them much? They do a lot of mixed fights, which I'm really excited for. Now that they're bringing Lithway into the thing, Are you going to go ahead and open the world of Wyoming up to the headbutt KO or what?
Man, I've had a lot of headbutts in Myanmar and in Japan, but I've never did on U.S. soil. So for sure that's in the plans. Like and especially that's going to be in a cage. That's a first for me in Litway.
Yeah.
It changes the clinch game a lot. You know, a lot of my opponents when we're in the ropes, they can move away and but now there's a wall here that you can't move too much. So I expect a lot of clinch action when you're you're pushed onto the cage. And apparently the card has like 18 fights scheduled. 18 fights.
Awesome. It's gonna be long, but awesome.
Yeah, it's gonna be long, but it's good for people. You know, they're gonna get their $25 worth because it's gonna be like amateur in the beginning, MMA, boxing, kickboxing, Litway in the main event. So Muay Thai as well. So it's gonna be like a mix of many things.
So the cage, you brought up the point. I know you'd fought MMA in the past. Do you feel like that's going to be an advantage for you having it in the cage? Because that was one of the things that raised my eyebrows about. I was like, oh, in the cage.
Yeah. I mean, my training camp, I'm doing it in Canada with all my training partners are MMA guys. One in TKO, one in UFC. So a lot of different styles, different weights as well. I train with heavier guys, and but I actually train my ground every day. I train my wrestling with the guys all the time. I'm trying to be the best training partner for them as well. So they pin me to the cage. I move. So I like that grit and that like aspect in the cage. But to be honest, I just love the inside game, cage or not. I just love the inside game. That's for me. That's where the magic happens. That's where the elbows flow. That's where the headbutts flow. I'm not a big proponent of like doing headbutts from far away because you can get caught with an up elbow on the way in. So I like to headbutt when I'm connected. So I think it's just going to be easier to do damage with the cage for both guys. So I have to be aware as well. But so. See, it's gonna be a fucking banger, this fight.
I can tell you're excited, especially with it being on United States soil. So
reasons why I'm excited because it's sorry I didn't cut you off, but as a fight fan, like I'm excited to do Litway in a cage. Never happened before. It's the first Litway title fight on U.S. soil, and there's never it's always gonna be there. And you asked me the question, I forgot to answer. I looked at Sparta just because of that. I actually bought their last pay-per-view to see how it works and to see the card. It was flawless, and I watched their main event, the Litway fight. It was Nelson against Payan, so UFC vet and Glory fighter, and it was very well done. So. It gave me confidence that they're able to hold such a big fight, even though they're never they've never like catered the pay-per-view worldwide because now they're before that they had maybe some pay-per-views in the United States, but now we're aiming Europe, Australia, UK, Canada, USA, Asia. So, but yeah, I've been confirmed that they're able to accept all these volumes.
It's awesome. And you've got to be being the king of Litway as you go by. You've got to be excited about the type of hype that Litway is starting to get around the world with WLC being on Fight Pass and now Sparta's getting it in the United States. There's Litway in Japan. There's a lot of Litway around. What are you seeing from your side? Because you're deep in the Litway game. What are you seeing as popularity wise? It's growing pretty well from what I see.
I'm not just deep, man. I am Litway.
I like it.
I am. I mean, I don't want to be cocky. I just want to be realistic. I had the big part to bring Litway and UFC Fight Pass. I know that there's no main event in the United States without me. And I mean, my Sifu always told me, he's like, Dave, it's good to be humble, but being humble sucks. You have to be able to. And I said that's pretty true. Like we work hard and yeah, I really want to give back to Myanmar what they give to me. Like, to be honest, Lynn, they changed my life. The sports and the country changed my life, the life of my wife, my family, and they opened up my eyes on a there are like 55 million people there, extremely humble, extremely kind, extremely polite, like borderline shy, and even the Litway fighters are extremely kind. But I relate to them so much. that because in Canada we used to be a very like hardcore, hard winters and hunters, but now it's not fighting sports are almost not legal. BJJ events were canceled recently. Like it's disgusting. But I consider myself being kind outside of the ring, and then I mean business when I'm inside the ring. And Myanmar, same. I was really struck by when I went there. They were so polite. You can, apart from the scar tissue in their face, you can't even tell they're Let's Way fighters. And then when they remove their longi and the skirt and they go fight, they're like, holy shit. So they're kind and aggressive, and they're the inventors of the most permissive striking sport in the world. I'm like, fuck, I like that. And yeah. I really feel, and I always say in my interview in Burmese, I say that if there's such thing as an afterlife or a previous life, I must have been there, born there, So yeah, I'm extremely happy to see this growth, and I'm just starting. Like we're just starting. I really think that the more Let's Way grows, the more it's going to help the country. Tourism, economic growth, restaurants, hotels. Like I want to give them like the best life possible.
So I want to circle back for a second there. You said Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is not legal in Canada. Is that because of the pandemic or what?
No, they before the pandemic they closed. They canceled an event. Like I think it was I don't know the exact name, but they made it legal. Even if I'm not mistaken, some police officers came to a tournament and they said to shut it down. Yeah, and that's retarded. It's all over the place. Yeah, so think about that. Let's Way will not be legal for a long time.
No. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, the fastest growing martial art. Yeah. I mean, come on, that's ridiculous. So
there's no strikes, like
there's not. That's ridiculous. It's not like it's combat jiu-jitsu where you slap each other.
Exactly.
So am I remembering correct? Did you get the tattoo?
Where I did get
the I forget. I don't know how to say it. How you pronounce it?
To Quinn. It's hard to say.
So you got the To Quinn?
Yeah.
Tell me about that. Tell me what it's about. I'm enthralled by it. It's such an interesting piece.
It was a painful time. It was
a tattoo, right?
Stick? Yeah. The way they do it, it's even more brutal than that. The history quickly, just for the viewers, is that it comes from the Burmese Empire. The Burmese army was extremely powerful in Southeast Asia. They used to dominate, parts of Thailand. They owned Chiang Mai. They owned many places, and to know, like, their army was so solid, they to test who's their high-ranking officers and everything, they would put like their fingers like this, and they would put a nail in between the nail and the skin, and then they would hit, and you wouldn't be able to you couldn't show your pain. If you would show the pain, then you're not deemed to be like the in the army. So they kept that like mentality of pain and pain resistance and not showing your pain, and they translated into the tattooing. So basically, it was a rite of passage. That's what's cool, from boyhood to manhood, and you were able, you would do that, those symbols on your body to show your ring experience, your combat experience. It's intimidation to your opponents. Like, if you have like no tats on your leg, well, you're fairly new into the Let's Way world. But then if you have a lot of battles, then you deserve your tats. And then what else? Yes, and while you're doing it, you can't really show that it's uncomfortable. You have to stay straight face. And we're talking about 24 hours total of and maybe 1 or 2, maybe 3 sessions, and the way they do it. And I interviewed one of an old tattoo artist. He was 70 years old, and he said, when I used to do it, I felt like with the bamboo, it's not enough painful. So he started doing an artisanal machine with magnets that would pierce even faster and even deeper than the bamboo. And that's how he tattooed. He was a coach in a Let's Way gym in Myanmar, and he had like maybe 10 fighters, and he tattooed them all. He did all the To Quinn for all of them, and I met all of them. They came. All the 10 guys are now in their upper 40s, upper 50s, and they all have their tattoos, and they lift up their skirt to show it to me. And it was a pretty powerful moment to see that they're all fighters, so yeah, I have my back with bamboo, but I have my legs with the artisanal magnet machine, which is super painful. And yeah, so, the way he told me, he's like, Dave, I don't believe, like, because there's a big rivalry between them and Thailand. They don't like each other. Thailand apparently stole their martial art. Muay Thai comes from Lithuania, and he's like, in Thailand they believe that tattoos can stop a bullet. We don't believe that bullshit. It's obviously not true. Obviously, it's fucking stupid. Who believes that is stupid? He's like, I just think that if you're strong enough to resist this in the inner thighs and on your kneecap, on your everything for a long time, and you don't show pain, and you deserve it because you have a lot of fights, well, you're a fucking man. I don't believe it is like black magic bullshit. It's obviously not true. So I really like him for saying that, because it's very easily to get confused in all those stories, those folklore stories,
Right. So let me ask you this: did you show pain, or did you wait till get back to the room and then you went, oh?
You can ask my wife. I was like white, but I didn't scream. I didn't do anything. But I was not liking it. Trust me, I'm not doing this again.
So, rumor on the street, not really a rumor. It's been announced that your book is being authored by Tom Taylor, who's a good friend of mine. Can you tell us a little bit about that, man?
And that's cool because Tom we first met while I was in Gatineau. He's living in Ottawa, Canada, and he came to do an article with BJ Penn, and we clicked. And I like how he verbalizes his right. I like his pen. And then I've been receiving a lot of offers to publish a book, a story, because people want to know about prison fight, the rise of Litway, which probably is going to be the title of the book, by the way, The Rise of Litway.
Okay, breaking news.
Yeah, but yeah, we signed the contract a week ago, and it's official. We're already started doing interviews on the phone and just like vomiting my story, and he's gonna verbalize it very well. So it's exciting. I don't know when it's gonna be ready, but we're not stressed. There's we're gonna add this fight to the story as well. We're gonna add a lot of it, and if it's not ready next year, potentially we're gonna do other fights. So it's exciting.
I'll be buying the book myself just so I can have it on the mantle. I'm gonna read it, obviously, but so I gotta get it, man. I got to. It's Dave LeDuc's book. Come on.
Yeah, for sure.
So sell everybody the fight. Where can everybody get it? Why should they tune in aside from the King of Lithuania headlining the card?
Well, I have a big. I'm not shy. I used to say I'm not afraid to say that Cyrus is a veteran, and he's very crafty, and he knows what he's doing. And he's been in Lithuania, in 2014 he fought Tuân Tuân Minh, and he did. I can give it to him a very impressive knockout to Tuân Tuân Minh, who was. Never been knocked out before. So I actually was watching his fight before going into Lithuania, or while I was about to I was about to go. So I was what's funny is that we actually quickly met buying fruits in Phuket, and at the time we didn't know that we were going to meet each other. That was 2017, 2016, and we actually we shook hands quickly, and we didn't know we were going to meet, and we didn't know we were going to fight. We ended up fighting, and like I said earlier, I was not. I did a great fight, but very very disappointed. I didn't finish the fight. Very disappointed in my performance for this, and I wanna make this a clear, decisive matter. There's a lot at stake for this because whoever, well, I know it's going to be me, but whoever solidifies this title, well, is going to be in the history books, as the best foreign fighter, because this is like we never know until it's 20 years from now. But like we're living in the golden era of Lithuania right now, with all the foreigners coming in, all the Tutu, Tuân Tuân Minh, Sagaman, all the guys that were the Burmese guys meeting up with all the foreigners. We have a former champion, a former training partner of mine, Nam Jong and Tiger Muay Thai, all guys doing well. So it's very competitive right now, and but this is personal. With this fight with Cyrus Washington, it's personal, and people can tune in. And right now, the paper is available on pre-order right now on Sparta.se.com, and they can get it $25. I made sure with my team that it's super accessible. Everybody can get this, and I can guarantee them they don't want to blink. They don't want to blink.
It's going to be awesome. I'm looking forward to it. So you've been on Joe Rogan, the best podcast in the world. You've now been on the Fight Library, the second best podcast in the world. What's next? What are the tours you got, bro? Because you hit the top. Come on.
Well, yeah, exactly. Well, I'm planning, I'm opening a restaurant right now, and I want to open it worldwide. We're doing the book right now, The Fight, and 2021 we have other big fight. I want to defend my title with WLC. So a lot of things on the line. I kept training the entire time and all year, even when gyms were closed, we didn't stop. So I'm ready. But this right now, I'm focusing on this fight because it's exactly 30 days. So 30 days of training. I just finished one right now, and we're expecting big numbers from all around the world. You know, Poland is booming in Litwa right now. They're organizing the World Litwa Championship in amateur next year. So I'm actually gonna they were last week they were for they did a judges training and planning for the World Championship. So in Warsaw next year, I'm going to be there as a guest, and we're going to see who's the next amateur Litwa champion. So they're going to have like helmets with they can do headbutts, and it's going to be pretty cool to see. And that's what it is. As when you see the organization like this, like in amateur, this is the next step of having Litwa gyms around the world. Like guys need to like organize this and have like the upcoming generation training in Litwa. Because right now what we're seeing is like I fought kickboxing champion, MMA champion, Muay Thai champion, and they're all like established in their discipline, but then they want to test themselves to see, can they hang in Litwa? Because it's very clear to everybody that Litwa is the ultimate test for striking. You cannot say you're the best striker in the world unless you test yourself in bare knuckle with everything goes with elbows, knees, kicks, headbutts, KO to win. So a lot of Muay Thai fighters are coming and they're like, okay, I did well in Muay Thai, and I want to see like, can I test myself within these rules? And if you can get a draw good. A lot of them get overwhelmed because of when you clinch, you grab the biceps, right, and then you have a headbutt in the middle. It changes the game completely, changes the clinch game completely. So, I'm my goal, just to answer your question right now, is to bring back the limelight to Litwa, because for hundreds of years, it was under a military, it was the military dictatorship, it was colonial, and it's been in the shadow of the world. And while it was in the fucking shadow of the world, I explained it shortly on Joe Rogan, Thailand was able to export their sport to the world, and we have Muay Thai gyms around the world right now. Well, It's a fucking coincidence, and they're fucking lucky, because if both countries were both open to the world, right? Myanmar was completely closed up to the world, like USSR almost. But if Myanmar was open, well, a lot of people would have been, well, why would I train Muay Thai? Why would I not train the harder one, the more aggressive, the more brutal, the more effective one? So I'm really confident that we would have Litwa gyms around the world. Well, that's not how history happened, but that's what's going to happen right now, and I'm on it. Trust me. We already have 4 gyms, affiliate gym, Leduc Litwa affiliate gyms. If you see my shirt, well, yeah, that's the logo. Yeah, basically, we have one in Redondo Beach, California, one in Austin, Texas, one in Manhattan, New York, one in Canada, and one in Reykjavik, Iceland. So we're testing the blueprint of my affiliate system. And then once we're ready, we unroll it to the world. We're going to have Litwa gyms in Egypt. We're going to have Litwa gyms all around the fucking world. Trust me.
It's beautiful. I love your enthusiasm for it, man. There's not many athletes I talk to that are enthusiastic about their craft as you are about Litwa. So I love it. Dave, I appreciate you speaking to me, dude. Where can everybody find you on social media?
Well, they can just go on Instagram, and that's why I like to do more stuff, or on Facebook, Dave Leduc, and we're going to have a good time.
Awesome. Dave, thanks, man. I'm looking forward to the fight. It's going to be awesome.
November 7th, be there. Get your pay-per-view. It's ready right now to pre-order.
Awesome. Later, brother.
Thank you, buddy.